Hello. I'm the one that created the I'm the one who created the YouTube videos that are by Matthew Keller. I am Matthew Keller, as you're well aware. I can fucking phone. Sorry, I didn't say that word. I'm 16 at all. This is a new one where I want to create my own history. It's inside my head that I think of that you might enjoy or you may or may not. This one's one of my personal favorites. I want to start off with bands I thought of in my head. I thought of two, and one of them is I'm gonna start off with one. And this one starts in the 1800s. Let me my sorry, I just realized that I had a book that had the year and such. I didn't freaking bring it to the table. This is a bad way to start. If I can find it. What the fricker? Well, this is also a bad start. But anyway, hold on. Sorry, I have like 10 minutes. I can only pull out 2 minutes of this thing on it. But anyway, this is one of my personal favorites. This is one of my personal favorites by bands. But this a solo person who she wanted to start her own music and create her own music, and she was fine with the music and the music culture since she was young. Her name is, I do remember her name, Mary Kay Carmine. She was this young girl at the end that was always kind of adventurous. She always wanted to know what was outside in the great world, and she always wanted to go out there and explore and do stuff. Problem though is she was born in the 1800s. I don't remember exactly the year she was born. So that's what my book was had, and book had it was off the year that she was born and explains her history. I'm gonna try to remember everything I can. She at the her mother was this is a black black sorry, African American girl. Um, her mother was always the kind of person that didn't like getting involved in the politics and so on. So her father was a drunk, was a drunk, and most of the time, he would be a fun fellow, but most of the time he would be a mean person. But Mary, she was the only one in her family. She had two siblings, and I forget, Kayla and Carly. Her two sisters, and as you already know, Mary Carmine. She was known as a music sister. What I mean is, she was the only sibling in her. She was the only daughter in the Carmine family that would sing music and make up new music. Else for she started making her own music at the age of 9. She didn't know how to play instruments, problem though, and there was no instruments played much during the 1800s. So she would use her voice and create new music. Well, she would have backup band, and she would sing along and do things that other people do, or others that wouldn't do most of the time. Clear my throat. And over the course of the decade, at the age of 14, she was asked to one person that began his name. I think it was Mr. Kyle Mr. Kyle Eugene, who is a person who is wealthy into music. He loved music a lot. He heard her voice several times. He was trying to look for a new talent, a new person that would do music for him. He would get money off the bat, pretty much. And he overheard a young little girl from North Carolina, and from North Carolina, singing, having a beautiful voice, making good music. Take time again. It's about time. Make it quickly. He walks up the. I mean, he goes to North Carolina on a train and finds a little girl. He asks around where's the little girl that he's talking to. The little girl is actually at her house singing good music. At the age of 14, she created four of her own songs. Four of her own songs. He heard them and he actually kind of liked them. And he said, "Little girl, how would you like to become famous?" And you would like to roam the world roam the world and so and so. She asked her mother, and she agreed, to this term. Over the course of decades, you're probably wondering, oh, she must have had the glory life and such and so and so. Not really. What I mean is, like, she would actually, people would actually be mean to her, and keep in mind she was an African American, and black people were not being treated as well. They were treated as slaves, as tools. And most of the time, I forget what we called them. Let me check again. But anyway, I forget. Her manager actually being bullied, and he's like, no, I want you to make this kind of music, and I want you to make this kind of music, so and so, blah 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 blah. Over the course of the years, at the age of 23 or 30 years old, I forget, she decided to say, "Freak this! I quit. I quit. I'm not gonna be part of yours anymore. I'm gonna be a freelancer and do my own music." Problem though is she couldn't roam around the world by herself because you needed a person to watch over her. Because keep in mind, I ain't being racist. This is during the 1800s. But then she runs into a kindly young man named named Robert Wilson, who was a kind person. He cared for him. He wasn't being bullied to black people most of the time. He um, he met her in a store and they started talking a little and they became good friends. And she asked him, "Would you help me out? I'm trying to make good music. I'm trying to make this culture music. Problem though is problem though is I can't do it without having a guardian or something like that. Because it's illegal to have for black people to during the 1800s. I don't want to pull off that too much." And once again, over the course of decades, he started to become famous even more and more. After that, after a little while, he started to get bored. After a little while, he started to say, "I'm gonna retire," and during 1882, she decided to have her own family. And over the course of the decade, and at the age of 52, I believe, in the year 1900, she died from a heart attack. And that's the end of her story. I am gonna pull up another one, but I think I'm out of time right now. Yeah, I believe so. I have like 1 more minute left. But I will explain the rest of her later. This is part one of her. I will explain other one. I created another one, and it might kind of interest you. It's related to another band from that previous century. I'll talk about it later. I'll see you for the next one. This is called Makeup History. This is called the Makeup History series. I will tell you more in the next video. Later.